would like to talk to you about the power of listening, but as I only have 20 minutes and feel that what I have to say is worth being listened to, I will read it, as that decreases my stutter. So this year's ISI Day 2024 theme is the power of listening. People who stutter have the unique opportunity to teach the world to listen. Now, what does that mean? I guess this means something else to every one of you. Pamela Mertz, who made the introduction video on the theme on the ISAD online conference website, as you can see here, ISAD Live, says, people who stutter can educate on the importance of listening, being 90% of effective communication. When I speak at disability meetings, people tell me that they suddenly wake up and listen because they have to follow what I'm saying. Sign language interpreters are happy when I speak, as they can hear and interpret every single word I stutter. Listening helps us build trust and better understand other people's situations and feelings. We all want to be heard and feel validated, getting full attention. And also stuttering is directly affected by the behavior of a listener. So when my listener is looking at his watch or not looking at me when I speak, my stutter increases. Why? Sorry, this is going a bit too fast. Why is it that most people who stutter can be fluent with a pet, with a baby, or even on stage? I know that there are many theories around that, but could it be because they can't interrupt and they just listen? A pet, a baby, they don't understand what you're saying, but they understand what you mean because they listen to the whole you. The sound of your voice, your body language. Speech is so much more than just saying words. We all know the example of, I'm not angry, darling, or the soft, I'm fine. So we need to listen not only with our ears, but with our attention. And listening to ourselves is both good and bad, depending on what we tell ourselves. We should listen to our gut. But we shouldn't listen to that voice that tells us we're not good enough. But somehow we can ignore all the good things, but when it comes to that little thing that we find negative, we tend to feel all of us is worthless. And the same thing goes for listening to others. Listen and believe when people say you're good enough, that you're intelligent, that you're a great friend, a colleague, a partner, dad or sister, because there's so much more to you than your stutter. But stop listening when these compliments are followed by if only. Fluency doesn't make us successful. It's who we are and what we do and how we make others feel. That's what makes us successful. So don't listen to those who tell you you're not good enough. Listen to those who tell you you already are good enough. But sure, we can all be better. But is better the same as fluent? Are fluent people always better and happy and have successful lives? Isn't it better to be your own true self? And when using speech techniques, when you want to use them because they feel they help you speak better, like now I'm reading and I can use speech techniques as well. Choose those you want to use, when you want to use it, and if you want to use it. As only when you do it for you, the way that fits you, you will get results. Clinicians need to listen to their clients. What do they want? What do they need? And is the client's goal achievable for this very client? And for that, we need to listen and we need to ask questions. People who stutter need to listen to their clinicians. What can they offer? And do they think this is achievable for me? I want to lose 50 pounds, but due to my illness that forces me to rest at least 20 hours a day, and exercise makes me worse or can even kill me, I can no longer go to the gym where I was twice a week before I got ill. Weight issues are also in my genes, having parents who were overweight and not by eating. After having heard for years I was fat with all the synonyms in the dictionary, and if you would only, I knew I had two choices. I could lose the weight and die, or try to find ways that work for me to not gain and maybe even lose some weight, so that I, together with my doctor, can be happy with myself. And also my hair turned grey when I was 25. I tried to dye it for years, afraid to show my natural color, ashamed when the dyed color would grow out the slightest. And now that I've accepted my grey hair, isn't aging a great thing? I can even dye it purple or blue and make the best of it. So what I'm trying to say is that we need to find out for ourselves if we want to work on ourselves and how. And for that, we need to listen to our clinicians, but also speak up and say no if it's not what I'm looking for. Now, don't get me wrong. I mentioned I work with my doctor to find a way of living that makes both her and me satisfied, and also work on my speech. And if you miss that, you are not listening. People who stutter also need to listen to each other. There are people who stutter who've done therapy or found other ways that worked for them and think all others can and should do the same. And there are also people who stutter who don't want therapy and think others should feel the same stuttering pride. So let's find a way in the middle. Let's applaud and be happy for both. I'm not against therapy. I'm not against fluency. I'm against doing it for the wrong reasons. Against fluency being the only definition of success. And I'm even more against people who force fluency upon us. Listening is hard, as we tend to wander off to our own thoughts, our own lives, situations, and needs. And those who speak need to realize that others do this. So if you stutter and people stop listening, it might not have to do with you stuttering. It might simply have to do with them not listening. We're not the focus of other people's attention. They are themselves. The TV Dr. Phil once said, "Do you really think you are that important that others can remain focused on you for more than a few seconds?" But without listening and without asking questions, we'll keep getting lost in that maze with no way of getting out. Teachers need to listen to their students. What do they need? What are they not telling me? But they also need to ask questions. What do you need? And what can I do to help? And SLP students need to listen to real-life people who stutter, to whom they can ask questions they can't ask to their clients, and get real-life answers. As a book, a research paper, a video about the vocal cords and the brain are one thing, but hearing what it's like to stutter and getting advice on how to become a fantastic SLP, that's a whole new level. Society needs to listen. People who stutter are getting louder. Stuttering pride is growing finally. We can speak. Others just need to listen a little better, or maybe a little longer. So stop forcing us to make our listeners more comfortable. Instead, make an effort to make it more comfortable for us to speak. Not giving us time to finish our words will only result in more stuttering. So if you're annoyed with our stutter, be a better listener, as words will come out more easily that way. Society, foundations, and decision makers also need to listen. We need more money for research. We need more SLPs in schools, as speech is how we communicate. It's important. We are literally rated and graded by the way we speak. We also need more rules and regulations to get rid of the quacks who promise the cure, often in just a few sessions. But when the results fades away, it's not their fault, it's ours, because we are lazy and unwilling, right? And to get society's attention, we need to join forces. We need to roar out loud. We need to make stuttering sexy. Now, I mean this in a sense that people who hear us want to know more, want to get to know us, want to ask questions, want to be with us. And we also need more tools, all from information to society, to with VR in the therapy room to help us prepare for tough situations. And we need more money to include more therapists around one person, as there's so much more to stuttering than what comes out of the mouth. We tell children to listen to their parents, but also parents need to listen to their children. Not to people who tell them their child is speaking the wrong way, or that stuttering ruins life, or that stuttering is a punishment from God or whoever. They need to listen to their child enjoying speaking. They need to listen to adults who lead great and successful lives and still stutter. They also need to listen to teachers telling them the child stutters instead of pretending it's not there. And they need to listen to therapists who promise the cure and the quick fix and run away. But they also need to listen to SLPs who explain what stuttering is about, that there are many ways of therapy with a disciplinary approach, and who show the way to stutter camps and conferences with and by people who stutter. But mainly listen to all those who tell them that their child is amazing and has so many skills that need to come forward, so that stuttering is not who they are, but simply something they happen to do. Stuttering is not a gift, it's not a curse, it just is. We also need to listen to our teens and young adults, not only to what they are saying, but also what they are hiding. Amazing Swedish Dr. Ineke Samson is doing research on covert stuttering, which shows that the number of 1% of the adult population stuttering might be a much higher number, as there are so many people being covert due to society's demands for us to speak fluently. At home, at school, at work, in social situations, people tell us to be fluent and to work on our speech. The 1% of all adults and 4% of all children who stutter comes from those who go to therapists and who tell therapists that they stutter. But we miss out those who don't go to therapy and who hide their stutter. Research from the British Stammering Association, STAMA, confirms this. If there's any age where we want to fit in, it's teens and young adults. Dr. Ineke Samson has interviewed young women who are covert, and she's now doing research on that. And listening to their stories last week brought us to tears, especially the parents in the room, because their children didn't open up to them in depth, but they did it to Ineke. And we, as Stutter Camps leader, get to meet these kids and young adults and get to help them to glue themselves together, because they open up to us after years of hiding and thinking and even hearing by people who are important to them that they are not good enough, thinking they're broken, they need to be fixed, and to be what they need to hear is just to be accepted. I was looking forward to the research symposium yesterday, hoping to learn more about great ways of treatments and understanding how stuttering works, and most of all, the latest research on how to help and support people who stutter. It started all promising, but I couldn't believe my ears that we're going backwards. Using a metronome to cure stuttering, using a watch that notifies us when we stutter, as if we ourselves don't already beat up us for that. Parents being therapists, so that not even their own home is a safe place from judgment anymore. Therapies like Time Out, the word only, is still ongoing, where we teach children it's not okay, and which instead forces children to become silent, to become covert, and to become full of shame. I was literally crying. By focusing on our stuttered syllables, you're not listening to what we're saying. We're so much more than just an N in a research paper. So why is there more research on a child who stutters is better or worse at video games? Yes, this is actually happening. Than research on what bad therapy does to a child. Researchers are there channels where we, as people who stutter, can ask you what to do research on, as we are right in front of you, just as in this picture. So talk with us and not without us or about us. We are here and we love to help you. But luckily, there are so many people, therapists, researchers, parents, teachers, employers, and others who get it, who do listen. And listening is why they get it. I love the quote from Dr. Gerald Maguire yesterday saying, listening to someone who struggles is also helping. Now, I'm interested to know what your thoughts are on the power of listening. So go to www.isad.live and share your thoughts, your papers, presentations, videos, your research, your art. As the ISAD and the many visitors from all over the world, we will be listening. So thanks for listening to me. Are there any questions? So there are no questions. So I guess everybody has been listening very thoroughly. And I thank you for that. Thank you for the hands up. Andrea, I see your hand up, but I cannot see your face. Yeah, there you are.
Anita. Well, in the first place, I'm sorry to be late, so I didn't listen the whole speech, unfortunately. But no, I just wanted to say that I really like the topic. I feel like whenever we talk about listening, I feel like we are focusing on the relationship, right? Of like we're looking at communication as something that happens between people. And so the focus is always shifted, right, from the person who's speaking to the interaction, to what is going on between people. So when I found out about your topic, I was glad, because it makes me feel like it's not just about us speaking and performing, but it's about us speaking to somebody else, right? And And so we always need to, right, to take into consideration the whole thing, not just, we're not speaking in a vacuum, right? We're not just, yeah. So I like also the fact that you chose, this topic.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrea. And I also talked about that we have this inner voice as well. We talk to ourselves, and sometimes we are saying nice things, but very often we are not saying nice things. So we have to listen to our gut, but we shouldn't listen to that little voice on our shoulder saying, "Oops, you're stuttering. That's not good enough. Your whole world is wasted. You're a loser." I still have that voice on my shoulder. That's why I got a tattoo last year on my arm, so I can see it, and it says "good enough." Because I still have to remind myself that if I speak, if I stutter, if I don't stutter, whatever I do, whoever I am good enough because I'm trying, and that should be enough.
Michael O'Shea, Anita, great presentation. I've known you a long time, so I'd like to know your opinion on this.
Yeah, sure.
From your own personal experiences. There's two kinds of verbal sufferings, not verbal suffering. One is the mind and the other is the body. Which one, in your opinion, haven't dealt with parents and teachers? Now, I'm talking about parents and teachers. I'm talking about the whole community around the child who's stuttering. Which one would you say is the most prominent, the mind or the body?
Sorry to cut in.
Yeah.
I've got some great news for you. The next speaker has not shown up yet. So we get to continue your wonderful conversation for the next 20 minutes. So this is our lucky day that we get to hear more of you. So
Wow.
You would like to continue, we would really appreciate it, Anita, for the next 20 minutes. Would that be okay?
Yeah, if they can cope with listening to me for another 20 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Michael, I would say that when I was little and I started to stutter, it was my body that was the problem. Because I was very, very tense. It was hard to get the words out. And then people started telling me that I should be fluent. I should make more effort. It was my fault. All these voices, all these people came to me. My teachers told me I would never get a job. I would never get a husband. I shouldn't have children. All these voices, my own voices and the voices from others, they started to cover me. So at that time, my stutter got way worse, and the voices became way more. I started to be silent and to not stutter because I felt I was a nuisance to people. I was in a way. It went so far that I started to try to kill myself because nobody wanted to listen to me. Nobody wanted to be with me. Then I met the stuttering community, and so many things changed. I got married. I have a child, and it's all my life has been great. I became a teacher. They asked me to become a teacher. I didn't even ask them. They asked me because they knew that I was good enough. So the voices started to fade. And now I feel good in myself. I can speak fluent for a little while. But then I have to think the whole time about how I'm talking and not what I'm saying. So I just let it go, and it's fine. So so now stuttering is a nuisance because I get very tense. I get a headache. I get a hiccup when I stutter too much, or too much. Well, physically too much. Yes. So today the mental part is well, I cannot say this here, but it's like the middle finger being raised, and my body says, yeah, well, it is tough. So that's why I do speech training, but the speech training that we do is speech training and not fluency training. So we learn how to give speech, how to do pauses, how to use the voice, the body, and I've learned that the more I speak and the more I learn how to give speech, the more I love speaking and the less I stutter as well. So it's shifting the whole time. So my wish for others is to not listen to those people saying you can't do this, but to listen to those people saying, well, I have some tools. Can I help you? And the people saying, if you use them, fine. If you don't use them, fine. So just being allowed to choose for yourself, to get this smorgasbord, as we say in Sweden, and to learn that I can pick from lots of dishes, but that it's up to me to pick and to try and to say this works and this doesn't work. So there are therapies that I've tried. Oh, how many have I tried? Where it's like where my hand is moving, and when my hand is moving, I can speak. Otherwise, I can't. And it works. I'm fluent, yay! But I don't go to the shop and doing like this because people will think I'm crazy. There are also people saying, well, as you stutter on the first letter of each word, why not that first letter? I ought give at a adder. Okay, so people understand me completely, or what? So what helped me is one thing. I don't know what helped you, Michael, is another thing, and I'm very, very happy for everyone who is trying things that work for them. I just mean that it should be our choice, what and when and how. That was a long reply to your question, Michael.
Oh, it's a very valuable answer because you hit the nail on the head. I mean, to say, like, as with all things in life, we all have choices. We all have changes, and we can change. And that is an individual thing to everybody. And it's a very, very good explanation of it. And like your explanation during your presentation as well, is that we all need, not only do we need to talk to each other, and that starts at creches, in the creche, the first movement of the child out of the comfort zone of the family and the home, right through it. We need to educate the educators, because when you ask children and teenagers, when did they first feel that difference? When did you first feel that difference?
Mm-hmm.
They don't really know what you're talking about, but they will say, 95% of them who answer, they will say, school, that's where I felt different. And that person could be an adult, it could be 40, it could be 50 or 60. Tell me your story. Tell me your story. But bringing that that phrase into the conversation. When was the first time you felt different? They will all go back to this childhood. Everyone. So
I've been to many schools, and I always ask the teacher first, do you have children in your class who stutter? And they said no. And I said, well, that's weird, because there should be at least one. But okay, then I start to talk about stuttering, about me, about my life, and also talk about the cool things that we do, like the ISA 80, that we can have a party, we can have cake, this is only our day and not yours. And I tell them about children camps, and I also tell them that when I was young, I didn't have friends, and they can change that. And there's always there are children who raise their hand and say, I also stutter. And I asked the teacher afterwards, did you know that? And they either say, yes, I did, but it doesn't matter. And then I ask, well, did you ask the child if it does matter? And they said, no, I haven't done. Well, start with that. Or they say, we know about stuttering. Okay, do you have any information in your school about stuttering? Well, no, not really. Right, maybe you start there. And my main goal, and I'm very proud to say that it always works, is that there are children saying, I want to be your friend. And there are children saying, I want to have your autograph. And there are children saying, I want to learn how to stutter too, because it sounds really cool. And I also bring my duff, and I let these children try it, because most children who don't stutter, when they try it, they start to stutter. So I'm the cool lady who comes to the school, and this child who stutters always gets a present or a pin. And if they dare, I ask them to come in front of the class, saying, now I am so happy that there's another person who stutters. Now we are two. Let's grab this chance now. Tell this class, tell your teacher, what do you want them to help you with? What do you want? And then when we have lunch, then they fight who gets to sit next to me and next to the child who stutters. And that's what we want. The first thing we need to do is to get them to talk. Once they talk, then we can start further and see how we can help them. But the first thing must be to make them talk. And what is going on now is that we silence them. And the research that I heard yesterday frightens me. We are going back to silencing them, to telling them stuttered words. Well, maybe you should, So we're telling them, and this watch. Oh my God! I know myself that I stutter, because that little voice is still here, saying, "Oh, now you stutter again." So do I need a watch to tell them every time I stutter? Oh my goodness, it would ring the whole day. So let's not go back. Let's go forward, and let's build these children to want to speak, because then we can work with them. We can build them, and also not just to work on the speech. We have the iceberg. We don't want the iceberg to go beneath the surface. We want the iceberg to go up all the way, because when it's up all the way, it can melt. Under the surface, it cannot melt. It is only hidden, and all these emotions will still be under the surface. We have to get it out so we can work with it. And Nina G made this other iceberg where all the qualities that we have are under the surface. So let's tip it around. So that stuttering, it's still there, but it's not our main focus. It is all the things that we can do, that we are good at. If we build there, what an amazing iceberg we will see. And aren't people amazed? I've been to Iceland. I've seen an iceberg turn, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. That blue light is just so amazing. You really want to see that. You want to see this child bloom. I am on my horse now. So, Steph, go ahead.
I have a kitty that's trying to
Kitty.
log me off. First off, thank you, Anita, so much for your presentation. And you were amazing. And I know several others probably in this room agree with this sentiment, could listen to you all day and just sit here and just be in awe of everything you have to say. So thank you. Mine is kind of a comment and a question. One thing with and I do also tend to call them speaking tools, as you have said, they're versus fluency tools. But one word that is often used in speech therapy is that our role, some people say, is to help people to speak easier. I've heard that a lot. And my sentiment on that is that I've never had anybody tell me speaking tools are easy. Ever that I've worked with, nor myself when I started to stutter, when I first got brain injured. Speaking tools were very challenging. You had to cognitively think of 50 things at the same time while saying what you want to say from a content standpoint. And so my question for you, since you've worked with children for so many years who stutter, is do you think children who learn language so quickly between those ages when they typically start to stutter, do you think they have the cognitive wherewithal to do these strategies that therapists are demanding of them at times? That's causing the trauma because they're not having a voice for themselves at times, right? Do you think that they have the capacity to even do multiple strategies while learning language and saying what they want to say? What are your thoughts on that?
I am not a clinician, so I cannot reply from that angle. But the many children that I've met, I'm not sure if it's the bilingual part that makes it harder, but it makes it harder depending on their physical state, on their mental state, and I also always preach try to find something that is closer to the person's speech. Trying to find something that is something for this person, because if I have tried to sing when I sing I don't stutter. Yeah, sure, but I cannot go to the shop like that. So try to find something that fits that person. And I hate the word fluency. I hate it. I would rather say speech therapy, because again, the goal is to speak. So try to find something, not to tell the child to do, but to lure the child to do, and to make it fun, and to try to find also what's the major issue for this child or this adult. Is it speech? Is it the parents? Is it the class? Is it the tension of the body? What's the core issue to start with? Don't just start with the started syllables. Oh my God, I get angry every time. Start with, where is the child? What does the child need? What are the expectations of the parents? Because parents want to cure the child. I am a parent. You don't want to see your child suffer. But it's not always from zero to the top of the mountain. Not everybody can climb the Mount Everest. Not everybody want to climb the Mount Everest. Some people like to be on that top and feel, yes, I did it. But if you tell everybody you have to climb to the top, how do people feel when they can't? Maybe physical reasons, mental reasons, fear of heights. There are people who don't want to, who just want to lie in the grass, looking at the top of the mountain. So this goal isn't always that everybody needs to reach the summit or the highest point to be happy. So every single child, every single adult, we have to start with, where are they, and how can we help them? Yes, Tom, I see you come in.
So much for a 40-minute presentation. It was supposed to be 20. Thank you. I think everyone in this room could listen to you all day long. Thank you for supporting StutterFest. You've been here since day one. We love having you. Thank you. Thank you today. A round of applause for Anita.
Thank you all for listening to me.